tough loss tonight. Just what's your thoughts? Now you had a couple minutes to kind of think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good team. Obviously, credit to them. They're really talented. They're well coached. Mike does a really good job with them. And again, like they constantly put pressure on you, right, for 48 minutes. I think for us, our level of execution on both ends wasn't really good. Giving up 118 points. Yes, they are talented, but that's that kind of character for us. I thought our execution, coverage-wise, and just kind of 5 guys being committed to doing what we're doing. There's too many possessions where we just kind of had too mental errors. I thought slip-ups, and again, when you play against a team like that, they can pay. So, and then offensively, I thought we were really out of character. I told those guys in there, I don't think it was bad intention by any means, but I thought there was a little bit like, let me try to fix it myself, and it became very one-on-one, which that's not us, right? I said the 2 things that stand out to me looking at this, and you kind of felt it during the game, was giving up 118, which we just don't do. That's kind of a one-off for us. And then 16 assists, right? To me, that just shows how we were playing on the offensive side. The ball wasn't moving enough. We weren't sharing it. We weren't getting in and trying to have our eyes out looking for the next better shot. So those really stand out to me. But listen, it's just no excuses by any means. Like we got beat. But I'm proud of the fight that these guys have shown these last 5 games. And we've had guys in and out of the lineup. We've had emergency waivers and guys coming in on flights. And so I think just for us, for these guys to constantly be in the game in the 4th quarter down the stretch, that's going to serve a bigger purpose. As we move closer to get to the playoffs. But yeah, I think all in all, disappointing loss. I think there's a lot of good things to take away, both that we did positively, but also too, I think the negative side was a lot we can learn from moving forward.
So who's been a player? Washington always been a change, especially around this time of year. Who's been a player that you may have thought was surprising this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think Brandon. I wouldn't say surprised me, but I just think his ability to score, especially downhill. I think he's starting to kind of come into his own a little bit. Like he has that. He's always had that. But I think he's starting to get a little more comfortable, within our offense. Finding his spots and when he can kind of attack our next game, that he is a weapon for us, especially coming off the bench. He's been surprising. And then again, it just kind of been game to game. And Chris has been pretty consistent. I mean, but then again, you look at the stat sheet, he's 30 to 20 tonight. Just dominating in the paint. And he had a tough matchup. I mean, often he's a low guy. He's physical, skilled, very patient. So that was a good matchup. I thought he handled that well. Dave stepped up for us. I know he didn't shoot the ball as well as he would have liked tonight, but he's so solid on both ends of the court, right? As far as execution, like the stuff I just talked about earlier. He's a guy that he's always in the right spot. He's always able. He can probably run our plays for every single position. I think those guys are 2 stood out, and then also Jarkel. I think this was an opportunity for him where he's usually off the bench playing behind Keaton, Tyson, Kobe, and unfortunately all 3 of those guys are out for us. But again, with those kind of things comes opportunity, and I thought he really rose to the occasion. Made some big time plays, putting pressure on their defense by getting into the paint. Defensively, he really gets after it, no matter who he's going up against. And again, he's playing 38 minutes and almost 39. You would never tell that the guy's tired. I mean, he's in elite shape, plays hard no matter what. So yeah, I think it's just been different. That's kind of, again, loss aside. Long term, it's good for these guys at the beginning units, right? I think that's the stuff you take away moving forward, and that's going to pay off hopefully, tenfold when we get to February. The hospitality has been great. My wife and I like it.
Last question from me, Coach. Just play Saturday coming up. Same team tomorrow.
No, we play. We're on the road next, so we won't play these guys. I think till later in the season to come back. We take off over to Detroit on Friday. We'll play Saturday.
Is there anything maybe say differently in practice? Obviously, some people put a little emphasis on defense maybe tomorrow, or just what
get healthy, man. Yeah, we need some of these guys back. I joke with these guys. We got a lot of talent sitting in the street clothes right now. Right? We got Tyson, Kyle, and obviously Keaton's gonna be out for a while. Just had wrist surgery. Kobe obviously sitting out. I mean, there's a lot of guys we could use tonight. So I just think again, just guys continue to get healthy. We'll dive into the film and learn, kind of go through some things that we got to clean up a little bit. I know we have Motor City that's a team that's playing really well also. Looking forward to getting back after it on Saturday.
Is there an update on Tyson or just?
I don't know the exact time, but he'll probably be out for about another week. I think we're probably potentially on this road trip. If not, I know we come home between play Motor City, Wisconsin, and then New York. We come home before New York, but I think if not, like the Wisconsin game is probably for New York.
Coach, kind of talk about just how you have these guys just ready to play. Obviously, I know it's professional basketball, but you said guys coming in and out of the lineup. So just kind of talk about what's your message to the team, when they get those opportunities, or you need certain guys to step up with the injuries and things like that.
Yeah, I just think, for us, it started back in training camp, and I think early in the season with, kind of laying our foundation and what our standards and kind of what our pillars that we kind of set up both offensively and defensively. For us, obviously, we're #1 defense in the G League. Obviously, it didn't show tonight. That's why it was kind of a little disappointing. But I think, again, you kind of feel that when you come and you're part of a team. I think getting guys like Devin, has been a practice player with us since training camp, so he kind of understands the culture and kind of the day-to-day, what the expectations are and standards. And then you get a guy like Trey, who's kind of built just like these guys. He plays extremely hard. He's kind of got a chip on his shoulder. And even if 24 hours, 36 hours around our guys and in our film sessions, listening to me, the messaging, you can kind of tell what kind of team we are. And then again, it just kind of you have to compete for 40 minutes. And we have guys that that's never. I never question the effort of these guys, right? I think our execution is at times is, like I said, we got to clean up, but again, as far as how hard these guys play, you feel that whether it's in practice, even in film sessions, you can see it, right? So I think that's what has been fun for me to see, because it's again getting guys, Rob Baker getting here, yesterday, and just having a shoot around with us today. He'll get his legs under him, getting more comfortable with what he's doing. But right away, when I talked to him and we were going to acquire him, he'd watch us play. We've been to a game earlier in the season, and he felt that, right? Just sitting, on the courtside watching the game, just how hard we play, how we share the ball, and those things. That's why, today, I'm sitting here talking, we're a little out of character today. And it's understandable. You're missing a lot of your key guys, right? That you rely on, or kind of the anchor of what you do on both ends. And then that's where these guys Jarkel, Trey, obviously, Brandon, Dave, those guys usually aren't in the game down the stretch, right? So that there's a learning curve there for them. So next time they're in this situation, hopefully it'll be better.
And then, Coach, talk about just the growth and kind of just progression of Chris Silva. We got to see kind of this year he's averaging a career high 19 points, right? 75% shooting percentage. What have you seen from him just from training camp or even just in practices that he just, much improved, averaging more, and being more efficient in shooting as well?
Yeah, I think for him it's just, the thing that just stands out is just an elite competitor. Right? This guy, everything he does, he wants to win. Right? And there's no wasted reps, there's no wasted days, obviously there's no wasted games. And that's what's so impressive about him is that he's an everyday guy, right? And I think at this level, when you're in the G League, you're trying to get that call up, and you're trying to be in the NBA, you're trying to play over in Europe, EuroLeague, Euro Cup. That's what it takes, right? It's an everyday. I tell these guys all the time, just the reality is that we live in a profession, in a time where it's a kind of a what have you done for me lately business, right? So regardless of how well you played a week ago, it's all great, but it's kind of that's what the expectation. That's what people kind of are expecting from you. Can you do it again? Can you do it again? And it is correct. He is a guy that he continues to do it again. Maybe a one-off game here and there, but like you said, 19 points, 75% from the field, like 20 rebounds tonight. And then I think just from a development standpoint, you're seeing, he's becoming a decision maker a little bit within our offense. So I think that's kind of something I talked to him about. I think was a benefit for, the way Quinn wants to play on the offensive side. A lot of, 90% of what we do offensively, is what the Hawks are doing. To try to make it seamless for Kobe, Seth, Mo when he comes to us. And because of that, again, playing through handoffs and get actions and those kind of things, playing through post-ups with him a little bit, that's a little bit of stuff that we've kind of just done to utilize him. And now you're seeing, again, I don't know what he had tonight, but only 3 assists, but he's had games he's had 6 or 7 assists. And just being able to play through him, I think that's something that a lot of people haven't seen. That I'm